Welcome everyone to the 301st weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. Can't believe we're there somehow, but we're there. We
I
only
can't
had to
believe it's
sacrifice.
Tuesday already.
It's somehow it's
So soon
Tuesday.
after we celebrated the last stream.
It's crazy that we're on the 301th stream. It's mental.
Yeah.
What's crazy is we haven't gotten canceled yet. That's a lot.
I
of
didn't
streams, a lot of
upload the other
opportunity.
stream. That might be why.
Oh no.
I just figured it was just going to be instantly pulled down from YouTube. So what's the point?
Makes sense.
Mm.
No, it'll be fine. You won't get paid for it.
We
Whether get
upload it
paid
to
anyway.
Daily Motion, and then
Ooh.
we can share it.
Live leak.
Live leak.
Yeah. Live leak.
Pornhub. Yeah, so we got some pictures and we got some people here. So as always, we got Fluffy's eye.
Really? Where?
I need you to hold up something reflective and shiny.
Oh my gosh.
Locked in that device. We got Pixie Nope. We got our shady back alley critique dealer.
Hi, I got it all. Just check the trench coat.
And we got a Fix.
Whoa.
Oh. All right. If you have any questions, any art you'd like to fire at us, please go ahead. We got 4 pictures, so it's not a heavy art day. Seeing as no one who submitted their art is currently on our chat, we'll just...
It's a better problem to have than having like 30 pictures to get through.
I totally agree. This means we might actually focus on a picture rather than going, all right, just, draw a horse more.
References. Bye.
I mean, sometimes you gotta draw a horse more.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Often.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair.
So
We should just come on here and be like, draw more, and then leave.
References. Bye.
That was our quickest stream yet. Yeah. All right, so our first picture is submitted by Saborgan.
Hello.
You might... They have a fun name to say. I'm pretty sure I'm not ever saying it right, but we'll see. It is speed paint in 3.5 hours. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Looks
Speed
sketchy.
paints and all that are super fun.
By working in a couple of years. Yeah, they have no questions posted on this one.
Wow, how could you?
Yeah. Hey, Saborgan. You should ask some questions next time. Or better yet, I'll counter this. Yes, I will or else this one. If you ain't got any questions, we won't critique it. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this gauntlet on you. I want questions from you. I want the struggles you are having. I want you to vocalize your issues or even vocalize around them. And why I'm picking on you? Your art's wonderful. You've been on our Discord and our Reddit for a while. You're caught up on how this stuff works. I want to see you do the lifting here for us. So let's do it. This is a conversation, and I need that other half of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. I'm just doing some bad drawing on top of your drawing.
Drawing. Don't listen. It's good.
You look at the eyes and stuff, and I just did like a similar kind of a thing for the nosy. It's interesting when you have like big zoomed in sort of things like this. It's always difficult to sort of find out where things should go and all that stuff. But I'm thinking of like the horizon-y sort of like line do you want to base things on? I'm thinking like roughly kind of sort of here-ish probably. And that sort of, works for that. Sort of bring that down there. Ish, kind of, sort of. So yeah, I just do position these nosy things a little bit more. I don't know, something like that roughly. Maybe.
Like the soft, sort of blocky shading. It works well on this one.
I do like it. You've got like a very interesting combo of textures and all that sort of stuff.
I really enjoy the textures on the face. The thing I have a little my brain it doesn't feel like it meshes the texture in the hair. And I'm not sure if it's because it's a different texture itself or I was also thinking maybe the directionality of it. Right now the hair direction's kind of like going like this when it should more be going like that. Maybe if you have the texture flowing along the lines of the hair itself, it might sell better. But right now it just kind of seems messy and blotchy because of that to me. So it's just something to be careful of is if you're gonna, because I know her hair is like spacey and like heavenly, and it's not really, you wouldn't see the form of like hair strands. And I'm not saying you have to, but if you're gonna have texture in something, you just getting it to go the direction it needs to go might help feeling it a little cleaner.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in like making those like longer, flowy sort of vibes, because I'll be honest, I had no clue that was actually her hair. I thought that was like an element in the background and that sort of stuff. I'd probably so up here, I'd probably just try to make it like a little bit clearer, a little bit more defined. And how you would do that is sort of, I've got this sort of darky, I've got with this color, and then I've got a brush that, is about a quarter opacity and all that sort of stuff. And because this area and this area are both really sort of bright, I'll just bring down this area around the outside.
We have saturation layers. Let me just check. Wait, did I just
I'll do something like that.
Okay.
Down here, it's all good because you've got this dark layer and this dark area and this really bright area, and so they're
We can do the
properly sort of split up from each other a bit more. But yeah,
grayscales. Hooray! You can see the values and everything.
ooh, values are good.
This is like, I do this with every single picture that I do. I'm addicted to it now. It's like the best thing for balancing the picture's visibility.
So they work.
If you actually look at their painting, their process picture, let me grab it for y'all. They actually work in black and white first.
Yes, that is a cool thing to do.
I did make the eyes a little bit lighter just to help a little bit with that contrast there. Also, her eyes are technically supposed to be lighter than like the iris is, the outside of it, just looking at a reference. So you want to sell it a little bit more as Nightmare Moon. I just lighten up that iris or the not iris part.
The sclera.
That part, yeah.
Yeah.
I just call it the base in my things. It's easier to spell than sclera.
It's hard to do in an Aggie with these limited brush things, but I hope I get the point across there.
Yeah, I think that gets across a lot.
I felt guilty having the responsibility of desaturation layer, so I left it so someone can claim it if they want to do it.
So I know that you've got the sort of really bright highlights on the metal parts, because there is so much like area that is like so brightly highlighted on that. I'd expect to sort of see a little bit of like a rim light on the outside of her face or something along those lines. Yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling when I look at this picture that the metal and her face, there's not too much of a difference between them, and I think what that mostly is because there's not like too much of a defined difference. Like you look at the separation, and it's not like cut and clear and all that sort of stuff. It's like this kind of like messy sort of thing. And because there's no difference in terms of texture, like you see the brush strokes and all that sort of stuff up here, there's similar kind of like brush strokes and texture that's used on the actual face and all that. So if you want this area of like metal shiny stuff and this area of face to sort of read differently, focus a little bit on the trying to create some different textures between those two areas. You've got like different textures between like sort of the face area and these background areas and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just try messing about with textures for different areas and creating some more difference between them. Looks good though. Good picture. Cool composition and stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Hell yeah. Looking forward to more drawings from you and more paintings from you and more comments about what you need and questions and all that sort of stuff.
All right, our next picture is by Capricornus Shade, another drawing art piece. Discuss. Hey, Capricornus Shade. I would like to discuss your lack of questions on here. You
what are we discussing?
Yes, from your exactly. This isn't to pick on you or anything. You appear to be a very talented artist. Your lines are lovely. Your horse shapes are great. We, as the critiquers, would like basically a prompt. We're looking for some questions you have, something to help you pick at the folds of, and just try and understand what's going on and what the issue is. Because unfortunately, I haven't been able to read other people's minds from across the internet. I tried real hard, haven't got to that point.
Tried so hard and got so far.
Exactly.
But in the end, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking for is give us some questions. What were you struggling on in this picture? Maybe it's not even with this picture. Maybe it's just in art general. Maybe you're just struggling what to do next and you aren't quite sure. Maybe you are looking for some advice on, I don't know, changing stuff up. Maybe you want to buy, I don't know, a new TV and wondering which one's the good one. Don't ask us that one. I mean, we might have answers, but not really for the critique stream. Anyway, what we're looking for is just questions. What's on your mind?
You can see around here that someone's sort of lining up the.
Yeah, it just felt a bit off-putting that the wall that we're seeing sort of facing us is like exactly like straight square. It feels like at the angle that we're seeing the scene, there'd be a little bit more of an angle on the wall. Like here, just because you like the disappearing point you've got here is absolutely great. I just sort of feel like the wall here needs to be lifted up, just to sort of make it fit a bit better with what you're doing.
Yeah, just pay attention to sort of the you've got the seams along here and sort of where they like match to these ones.
The perspective tool can sometimes resist what you actually want to do when you need to do the things that sort of go against it, as it were. It's good for setting up like the disappearing point and the lines leading into it. But then when it comes to doing basically everything else, you need to sort of use your eye for that, I find. Sometimes it does line up.
I was just going to say, it especially sticks out when you use such like a plentiful, detailed texture like this overlaid.
Yeah.
It's going to be real obvious when things don't line up and really obvious.
I do really like how the texture looks, although I would probably try and soften it a bit just to make it a little bit more subtle, because one of the first things I actually think my eye fell on was sort of like the bricks around this sort of area. Let me draw, please. And then that led me up here to the wall, and then sort of around here, and so then we start getting to the characters.
Same. I was staring at the bricks for quite a while.
The eye just gets led this way, and that's like between the characters, and you want the focus to be on the characters. So like I would definitely just like use an like just when I say overlay layer, I just mean like a layer that's just like brown on the bricks, but like with the opacity turned down, you can just adjust it until the bricks are softened. Or if the bricks themselves are just like these lines, you can like lower that a little bit. Whatever you need to do to just like sort of make them feel a little bit less obvious, because it's lovely that they're there, but it is a bit distracting because there's a lot of detail, a lot more detail than the ponies have. So it's best to sort of let those things be background in the brain because they're secondary, like the buildings back here, like that's lovely, that's a bit of detail that's in there that makes the whole scene put together, but because they're just silhouetted, it's not a thing that is drawing our eye. It's just kind of there, and we're not looking at it, but it exists so that to show that the world has rules and there's something over there. but you don't have the buildings taking all of the view away. It's the ponies that are in the light, and that's exactly what you should be doing.
So with this picture, ponies they look good. You could nitpick some stuff about the muzzles or whatever, but like in general, the ponies they look great. You might make a little bit more of a pointy point at the tip of the horn, but in general, like the ponies they look great. They look amazing. They look good. You're a good artist. That's very clear. But the picture is so clean. It's so clean. It looks like all of this are vectors, and there is not a single pixel out of place and all that sort of stuff. What I would recommend doing is honestly trying some less precise, sketchy techniques and all that sort of stuff. Because if you look across the whole picture, everything has the same amount of detail, the same crispness, the same sharpness. The amount of detail right here is the same as the amount of detail right here, is the same as the amount of detail right here, everywhere. So I just look at you've got this YouTuber, Marco Bucci. He's got this series, like 10 minutes to better painting. And it's all about digital brushwork and all that sort of stuff. And he probably might be a pretty good place to look in terms of getting a bit more of a less refined style into your piece. Because what you can do is try to use those sorts of techniques to soften the picture up and to sort of lead the eye towards the characters, towards where you want them to be. So, for example, in this area around here, you don't need the bricks to be like super clearly defined. They can be, very faded and not really sort of visible, and you don't need the textures there, especially to sort of be visible for us to believe that it's brickwork. I'll do the same sort of thing over here. I'll do the same thing on this wall, actually. I'll just completely fade out a lot of all this stuff. Because, you only need like a little bit of nice, cleanly defined sort of brickwork for it to actually show up, for it to actually convey what it is and all that sort of stuff. Whoever's doing all this red, feel free to drag your layer above mine because I'm going to destroy everything here.
Good.
But you can see how even with these fairly minor sorts of changes, all of the brickwork around here is nowhere near as clearly defined as it was before. Around here it's not. Around here it's sort of less visible. All up here it's less visible. And what that does is that pushes our eyes to the areas and to the places that have more definition, which are the ponies. And it also, it's a really interesting thing when you're doing digital artwork and all that sort of stuff. But one quote that sort of I always remember is that emotion lives in the areas that are less defined. So if everything is perfectly clearly defined, perfect vector strokes, perfect definition, perfect everything, there's not really much space in your picture for the viewer, the person who's looking at it, to sort of come to their own conclusions and to sort of have their own ideas about the vibe of the picture and the emotions in it and all that sort of stuff. So, that's where I think, trying to use some of these digital brushwork techniques can end up being really useful. But really, really good picture. It's from looking at it, clear that you're an experienced artist that knows what they're knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. All of this area looks good. Good job with this overlap here. I tend to have a bit of a shoulder bump here. And, it might be an idea to study up on muscles a little bit to sort of make more pronounced ones when you're at this sort of 3/4 angle sort of thing, because you can go a lot further with the expressions that way, I feel like. But yeah, in general, good picture. Good stuff. Who did the red stuff? I'm interested.
Yeah, that's me. I'm just gonna throw in my 2 cents here. The building is very boring to look at, so just adding some details to that will really help. I'm not sure if you are on like a time constraint or you're just trying to get focus on the horses for like practicing with that, but it'll really help your picture look a lot more believable and interesting and alive if you add details to that building. Also, where is the moon? Like, there's no light back here, which I thought was really weird. Like, from the city, from the moon, it just looks like it looks like a zombie city's back there, like nothing's on. So adding a light source back there also might help a bit. Either with I was messing around with like putting some lights in, little lights in for around the buildings, or highlighting them with the moon, like you see going on over there. Yeah, just putting a light source back there would be good.
Yeah. Small details. Small, rough, sketchy detail. Like, look, that's like 30 seconds of work. And it looks pretty good.
Like
All this stuff.
Yeah, what Pix was saying about too much detail, maybe tone it down with the stars a little bit as well. Just because there's a lot of them there and it sort of draws your attention over to that area because there's so much detail happening there. Just like just calm down a little bit there, and that'll help pull the focus back towards the ponies.
Yeah, everywhere that you put detail is going to be an area that's going to draw, your eye's going to be drawn towards the areas with detail. So if you want your focus to sort of be around here, try, in this corner, right near the corner, you can make less detail. You can, try fading stuff out and all that sort of stuff, and it'll draw less detail. With these sort of you can see these red interesting parts, and you might be thinking, oh no, that'll take 100 million years to get precisely and all that sort of stuff. But if you do this, being rough and being sketchy, it probably won't take that long. Like, for example, let me try to get this bench in. So, let me do this. Get like a bit of a lighter color. And get a bit more of a lighter color even up here for like the lights. Yeah, that's probably good enough. That's all you need. Yeah, exactly. You only need enough to sort of, get the vibe across of what you're looking for. You don't need to get everything looking perfectly great and specific and clear and all that sort of stuff. Leaving things sketchy and leaving things ill-defined is one of your best tools as a digital artist. So go crazy with it. Go mental. That's a good picture. Really good picture. Nice job. Yeah.
Okay. So I just did with this pink. I just wanted to highlight the fact that your light source is off on the pinky horse here. So I've done some pink highlights going on here. Basically, where you've had your light source indicates that the light is a lot more towards the left of this image than the right. Or sorry, let's see. There we go. Just sneezing. Anyway, it's over more than where it actually is drawn. So I've just moved it back over towards the right side of that horse. Hope that makes a bit of sense. Just more centralized lighting. Anyway, shall we move on to our next one?
Heck yeah.
Right.
good drawing. Feel free to chuck us more stuff.
We said we'd have the time to focus on a drawing, and I think we just did. Yeah, good stuff.
All right. So our next picture is the traditional one. So it wins points. This is by Starsong Dusk, and it's 7 of Pentacles. Part 7 of my Tarot Ponies series. I decided to try a different medium for the sky, utilizing charcoal pencil for smooth black lines. Little did I know the nightmare I was setting myself up for. I absolutely obliterated 2 fine point erasers, putting in stars in the pentacles. For comparison, Starsong Dusk is in the center in graphite. I'm really glad I did this exercise because now I don't have to do it again. Also, please don't bother subjecting this piece to critique. I only uploaded for community purposes, and I'm well aware that it's pretty bad. Lol, it's not bad. You're getting critique, and
Absolutely
this is why.
not. This is really, really cool.
No. You learned stuff from this one. You made good pictures.
Oh yeah.
It looks awesome.
And you messed around with techniques. Look at all this sort of stuff, like putting down charcoal and all that sort of stuff, and then going in and erasing it. That's really cool. I love it.
I'd be like interested in if this was mine, and sort of like using my fist to sort of like blur parts of the grass, just to sort of like even out some of the details a bit. And sort of similarly to how we talked about sort of downplaying the textures whilst leaving them existing, like making them a bit more soft and subtle. In the last picture, you can do it with traditional art as well. And I mean, it looks like you've been using like smudging techniques with the pony. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. But it's always like my favorite thing to do with traditional. I do it with graphite a lot. I'll just like, so I don't really draw with charcoal as much, but I'll sketch with graphite, and I do lots of smudgies with my fingers. It's always so fun. But yeah, and like erasing to draw is also one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. I used to draw little scenes of like little robot vehicles sort of driving around in this like world of like ramps of like Hot Wheels sort of thing, and I draw their headlights with the eraser. So it was always so much fun to do.
Hell yeah.
But I think I really can't make the stars any like thinner because there's a limit to what you can do with an eraser, even if you've got like a super fine one. And if you don't have anything more precise, that's absolutely fine. I would say that spacing them out and diversifying where they're placed, it would be good for next time we do anything similar to like a starry sky. Like placing all the stars exactly in one position, like they're basically leopard printed in a way. They're not 100% accurate, but they are very consistent in where they're placed, and that's not necessarily very natural looking.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, you want to sort of like spice up. Let's just like, I know there's a cloud wasn't here, but let's just do something up here. So you want to sort of like space up like where the stars are, how densely they're placed in various areas, because you don't want too much consistency going on. So the more consistent and where the pattern is here, it feels like every space has been filled by stars. It can feel a little bit not real. It feels almost like it's a blanket that she's facing with like a pattern sort of painted on it. Whereas I know you can't do them this small with an eraser, but just for the sake of not working on this picture, but future pictures, having the stars sort of speckled inconsistently across the sky, like as little symmetry as you can do, helps a lot to make it more natural.
Yeah, random things clump up and all that sort of weird stuff.
Yeah,
and don't be afraid to.
Make these a bit
you
more
know, leave some areas without stars, and then go a bit overboard in some areas. It's all good. No stress. No stress. All good. Also, LD.
Yeah, buddy.
God, you're so weird.
I think it's pronounced tarot.
It's tarot, I think.
Tarot.
Tarot.
No.
It's tarot. I'm sorry.
No, it's tarot.
No,
I'm sorry. I had to tell you.
I'm with you here. If I'm not mispronouncing everything, I'm doing something wrong.
That's how I always said it as well. But then
wanted to clarify that it's pronounced tarot, and that's what I'm here for. I'm the Aussie. I know how everything's pronounced.
That makes sense.
Checks out.
Yeah, but no, great picture. I love it. As Vex says, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I love it.
Keep it up. And if you're looking at just posting pictures for picture's sake, my suggestion would be bring them over to the Discord instead, or collect a whole bunch into a gallery and post them as a gallery and be like, wow.
Tumblr or...
Well, yeah, like there's other locations, but if your goal is to post it for our community, we do have a DeviantArt, but I know none of us maintain it, so I have no.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
I also own a Celestial Radio one that I do not use either.
So hopefully that helps you out. Feel free to keep posting, but I mean, post it as a gallery. Don't make it hard on yourself.
Keep chucking us art. It looks good. Looks great. And if you say this isn't good, I don't want critique on it, we're going to be like, no, you're getting critique. It's good. Shut up.
Yeah. As
we're
we
super
just
happy
did.
to see your stuff, so keep it up.
I love it. Good picture.
All right. So our next horse is by Not Really Art Creator. Redraw of an old OC. I can't get the hair right. Any suggestion on how I can improve? And they got no questions for us.
This is Vex's approval, apparently.
it's like Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah.
Or, as we say in my family, Napoleon ice cream.
But it's not called Neapolitan? Or Napoleon? Oh, no.
So, with the ground, you've got all of the arms and hooves and stuff are like completely in a resting state, and so they're here, and if you take it like forwards, it's going to end up. This one is going to end up like somewhere down here.
Yeah,
roughly.
You want to make sure they're all placed on the same surface.
The
only reason they wouldn't be is if there's a background and they're standing on like a rock or an uneven surface, but obviously you've not drawn a background here.
If you want these two hooves to be like close together, what you'll need to do is you'll need to, have them kind of tilted and all that.
That is my favorite pose. It's my go-to standing pose. I'll draw what you just did, Pixie.
Yeah,
so,
it's a fun one.
Let's try yellow. It's a bit hard to see in the white, but
that's fine.
Yeah, there we go. This is my legs. I do very curvy, stretchy legs, but I like to do this and have one sort of placed behind the other a little bit. It feels a bit more natural. But if you want to do them placed up, we do sort of recommend having the. Whoops, I can't erase anymore. We do recommend having the limbs sort of spaced out and not being in sort of like a concrete pose. So we would recommend placing them that way. But since what you've drawn here is the legs together, I've just sort of drawn them in the way that you did, but with the hooves sort of at the same position, the same angle of the ground.
Look at all this awesome hair and stuff. Oh my god. You can see with the people drawing hair how much they're relying on overlapping. Overlapping is like a really, really good way to like build up interesting shapes without having to do much. And you can see the interesting kind of shapes around here. Like you've got this sort of a thing versus, something that has a little bit more in terms of like, straights, straightish areas versus curved areas and all sorts of weird things. So it's fun to mess about with like different shapes and try to make interesting, weird, fun shapes and stuff.
So with the tail, I've just given it a smaller start of it. Right on the where it comes off, it actually follows the spine. So I've done it in this light pink, which really should have been a bit darker. Anyway, it follows along the spine. Once again, pink. One moment.
No, good.
Go green. It follows along the spine here and comes out the back, following along the top of the back. That is the full spine on that. What that gives us is a very small start at the tail that then explodes into all the hair that hangs around there.
Hell yeah.
Just make it easier to see your colours.
Yeah, just for the sake of it being adorable, I've just made it so long that it sits on the ground, because that's always fun.
Yeah, because it's all like heavy hair, but it's all just hair. It's like, you know what a loose single like super long strand of hair is. This is a lot of them, and so they wouldn't have such a rigid shape. You kind of have their hair sort of curl back up into a flick at the end. That's absolutely an option. Like most of mine have that sort of the style where it's sort of like this, but it's definitely about making it feel like hair and less like a sort of solid croissant, you know. And I definitely like how LD sort of drew it like draping on the ground. So you can imagine if yours turned from being like a solid shape to being like a mass of hair, how it would just onto the ground and just be this loose sort of flowy mess, and it's great.
One really interesting thing with hair is that you can have like the more darker, larger sort of outline thing, and then you can come in afterwards with like a thinner stroke, and then do like a bit of like a contour on it to like show off how everything's twisting, to like really sort of show off how the hair is moving and all that, which can be really fun. You can like really introduce some like interesting.
I love just having lots of swooshes and flowy lines with the mane. I super love having like loose strand. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer still. Like loose strands that kind of come off and go back in like this, and sometimes divide and connect back to the base. Oh, it's so much fun to do. Lots of mess. All the mess.
Who drew the red up here?
Here?
This
mane.
That was me.
Looks good.
I love the sort of gravity of the flop.
Yeah.
Where it sort of bends. Also, I super duper love your eye. The poster. I love her eye. It's really cute. Yeah.
Looks good.
It's lovely.
Good eye. You have a good eye for art.
Oh.
Good stuff.
All right. Keep it up.
Yeah.
We got one more picture. Oh, someone's already posted it. I didn't have to do the extra work. This is by Embroidered Equations during the stream because I tried tossing it in critique. Just having trouble getting the legs right in an attempt to fix them. I did a full 360 back to where I started, and I'm not sure what to look up for references. People.
I think just from what I'm seeing, it looks like the legs might be a bit long. That
there's
might be
a
like why
proportion thing where they just feel bigger in general than the arms do, like by a lot. But that might be a stylistic thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you're kind of feeling, where it's like trouble getting them right and all that.
I do like the sort of action line of it all. There's a very sort of nice flow to the image.
So let's work out sort of the sections. Yeah, you've got this.
Look at this magic happening already. Whoa. So the combination play of amazing anatomy breakdowns going on.
All this stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'd probably bring that knee up a little bit.
The head feels kind of small compared to the rest of it too. That may just because the legs are so big, it's like messing with me, but the head feels a little small.
Yeah, you could probably.
Maybe it's a little big. I don't know.
I think just like the top of the head would be a little bit bigger because it's like leaning forwards. You could make that like area just a touch bigger. Doesn't need to be a lot, but and expand the sort of hair up here and all that, so to do some like more weird stuff. Because when you're going for like a pose like this, where it's very the parts that are closer towards the camera are very bigger, because that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Is these areas are bigger because they're a bit closer to the camera. When you kind of have that exaggeration in one area, you also need it in other areas. Every bit that is closer to the camera needs to be bigger because of that's the way that the legs are kind of being drawn. Yeah, so ignore my bad drawing, but that's kind of probably like roughly how long I'd make the legs for a picture,
Could we
roughly
make
kind of
the
like this one.
original picture at a lower opacity so it's easier to see those lines? Whoever has that layer.
Fluffy, that's you, buddy.
Ali?
What? Sorry.
Oh wait, Fluffy. We're just looking to sort of fade out the background.
Oh, you want me to turn it on? So, yeah, I tried to, but it's above where I posted it. So let me.
Just
there it is.
drag your layer one layer up. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was trying to find it.
Cool. So yeah, something like that, roughly. Yeah, it's a good picture. Good picture. Just some small minor changes.
Legs are hard. I help you there.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's fine. They'll just continue being the worst legs I've ever drawn, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough kind of one, but that's kind of roughly how I'd make it. Because if the legs are going to sort of end here, you probably need to sort of drag this down a bit and extend this this whole area. I'll probably make that. Yeah, make that this area right here big because it's sort of close to the camera compared to everything else. Just like this area is a bit big. Good picture there. I love the bows and all that kind of sort of stuff. Looks good. It's always weird trying to like work out how the hips and that bit, the ribcage, should sort of go. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit more in proportion with sort of what you're going for.
Look at Allie just like digging for wonderful information.
Anime, what can I say? It's like a very anime tropey pose.
You dang weeb.
Yeah, I do think what Ali posted is in the voice chat or Discord is a very good thing to use as reference. Like, I think it'd be a good direction to sort of take it, especially in terms of like the off leg, the left one in our perspective.
Yeah, like
I think it's twisted a bit more in your picture than it is in the reference there.
Yeah, look at how dodgy my drawn leg looks compared to all of those ones that have been posted.
I think yours looks absolutely wonderful and conveys a very expressive pose. So, why you shut your face?
Calm down. All right.
Dang.
Fight you.
I want to see that. Be a friend off. Beating up each other with kind words.
No, your art's better. No, your art's better.
Your art's better. No, you.
You could try your hand. There's this one DeviantArt user that their whole thing is like nerdy poses. Like they just get a bunch of people to pose in like skin suits and stuff, so you can get references for, and they do things from anime and like action games, stuff that you normally wouldn't see at like a typical like fine art pose shoot or whatever. Let me see if I think they changed their name.
I think a Dorcas stock is one of them.
That's it. They used to be called Sensi Shop.
Yeah.
That's how I knew them, but they're now a Dorka stock. I'll grab the link and throw it in the Discord.
Discord.
The Discord.
Which chord?
The
Discord.
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 Like the summer.
Exactly.
Flag.
Yeah.
We haven't had a dino flag in ages. So many streams. Used to be
I love-
once a stream.
I love the tilt of the shoulders versus the tilt of the hips. Good job. Makes for a really interesting dynamic pose. Yeah, a Dorcas stock.
They also have
Love
a DA if you want to search there, but this is just their website.
I didn't know this was website. I knew the DA.
They do a bunch of nerdy poses, so they for sure I bet have like anime pose packs or magical girl pose packs. I know they did a Sailor Moon shoot. They even have mermaid shoots. They have like it's very like fantasy and action based.
Hell yeah. But yeah. With humans, reference always helps. Reference and like little life drawing sessions are like the things that help me with this. So if you want to get better at sort of getting an ingrained sort of knowledge for this sort of like anatomy and all these kinds of things, yeah, just those two can be really useful, I reckon. Look at this absolutely adorable alley down the bottom.
There's nothing.
Look, it's
Right.
absolutely adorable. Oh my
Anyone
God.
else have any other questions? Any other adorable alleys?
No, there's nothing here.
Can we see it on the stream?
Oh my God, it's snuggling.
Oh, it's so cute.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a good counterpoint to the picture next to it.
The picture next to it's so good though.
Brilliant. Both brilliant.
All right. Well, seeing as no one else has thrown anything at my face and made it an indent, we'll call it a day. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.